Hi everybody, Professor Jim here. Now we're looking at statistics with the median, continuation of the previous video. Okay, I wrote 15 numbers out on the board. I put them in order from low to high. In math lingo, that's called ascending order. I kind of prefer low to high. All right, so they are now in order. All right, so we're looking for the median. Okay, we have our formula, right? N plus 1 divided by 2. Just double check how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so N equals 15. 15 plus 1 is 16, we know that, of course. Divided by 2. So the median is in 8th place. So we go and can't find our 8th number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 22 is the median. In statistics lingo, it's quartile 2. 50% of the numbers are lower, 50% of the numbers are higher. Okay, quartile 2. All right, they say, remember before the previous video with the houses, $300,000 houses, there were 4, and then there was an $8.8 million mansion at the end of the block. And we did the median, and it's a lot more accurate. Now we're going to find out, how do we figure out what an outlier is? All right, in order to find out what an outlier is, we need to get quartile 1 and quartile 3. Okay, same formula, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 numbers less, 7 numbers more. 7 plus 1 over 2. And if you have an even number of numbers, you'll have to average 2 numbers and get the median, but that's not a problem. Okay, so 7 plus 1 is 8 over 2, so 4th place. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's quartile 1. If you're looking for 4th place in the group of numbers that's lower than the median, then we're also looking for 4th place in the group of numbers that's higher than the median. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's quartile 3. So now we have quartile 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so far so good, right? Okay, we're going to be looking for something called the interquartile range. We have quartiles. Okay, also abbreviated as IQR. After you hear interquartile range once or twice, they start calling it just IQR. It's a lot faster to say. Okay, we have the 3rd quartile, we have the 1st quartile. That is the interquartile range. Take the 3rd one minus the 1st one, and you have the range. The 3rd one in this case is 37. The 1st one is 17. So that equals 20. So the interquartile range is 20. Okay. That's all good to know. We have quartile 1, 2, 3. We now have the interquartile range. So we have IQR is 20. How do we find out what numbers, if any, are outliers? Okay, we take quartile 1, we subtract 1.5 times the interquartile range, we get a number. We take quartile 3, that's on the bottom end. Take quartile 3 on the top end, add 1.5 times the interquartile range, That also equals a number. Any numbers outside these two answers are outliers. 20 is our interquartile range. All right, so Q1 in our case was 17 minus 1.5 times 20 equals. Okay. 1.5 times 20 is 30, but we're subtracting it. So that equals minus 13. Okay, let's say we're looking at housing prices and stuff, or anything. We're not going to have negative amounts on counting anything. So for all intents and purposes, our answer is 0. We have counting numbers. You know, we'll start at 1 to whatever infinity. So we don't have any negative 13 in counting numbers. Okay. These will be salaries. You know, we're not going to have a negative salary. I hope not. Okay. So that's on one end. So this, for all intents and purposes, is 0. Okay. Quartile 3 was 37. Plus 1.5 times 20, which is 30, right? 37 and 30 is 67. So we have going from negative 13, or since you can't have negative 13 to something, 0, up to 67. Here's our numbers, right? 0 to 67. Okay. On the upper end, we have 86. So it's greater than 67, of course. If we had 68, that would be greater also. That would also be an outlier. So in our case, with our 15 numbers, we have 86 as our outlier. And that's how we find out our outlier. Median first, quartile 1 and 3 second. Take quartile 3, subtract quartile 1, get the interquartile range. And then we take our quartile 1, subtract 1.5 times the interquartile range. If it's less than 0, we'll just call it 0. And we take quartile 3, we add 1.5 times the interquartile range, whatever number it comes out to be. And then we look at our numbers, and if anything's outside that range, it's an outlier. Doesn't mean it's bad. You know, it could be great being an outlier. LeBron's salary is an outlier. You know, I think it's great. You know, what Bill Gates makes is an outlier. You know, money-wise. So those are outliers, and they're good. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's different than the major grouping of the numbers. And that's it for this video. And please hit the subscriber button, and we'll continue on. Thanks.